everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a bronzy night out glam. This glam is literally bulletproof. It will not go anywhere. If you guys follow all of these techniques, I promise you your makeup is going to last. So without further ado, make sure to subscribe and let's get on into the video. So I started off with this Hourglass primer. This is the Vanish Airbrush Primer. This is going to give you the most flawless looking skin. I don't believe in a lot of primers, but I do know that that one works and I have it in my professional makeup kit. It is to die for. As for foundation, I'm using this House Labs one. This gives me such a pretty skin-like effect, but it does give you nice coverage. I definitely need to conceal these under eyes, but first I'm going to use some color corrector. This is from Cali Ray. I have spoken about this 1,000,001 times. This just helps color correct any dark tones and any colors underneath the eyes before I conceal, so that I don't have to use as much concealer and so that I could just let the concealer do its job, because concealers don't really color correct, they just cover. And to cover different tones like red and green, you're going to need to color correct or use a lot of concealer. And I like this one too because it's more of a serum-like formula. This is a new find. This is the Fenty Beauty concealer, but this is their Pro Filter, so this is not the hydrating one. This is more of a velvety finish, and wow, this looks so beautiful underneath the eyes. If you have dry skin, I would say you need to prep your under eyes accordingly. But I wouldn't say that this is like the most drying concealer. I would just consider it more velvety than anything. For cream bronzer, I'm going to go in with this one from Fenty Beauty. I'm going to let that concealer sit while I do it. I like this one because it has warm tones and cool tones, so it really just bronzes up your skin but also contours it. Look at that blend. It is so easy to use. And I'm wearing a brown dress, so I really want this look to be super bronzy. I'm going to go back in and perfect it, but I'm going to blend out that concealer, and I really like to blend everything upwards because it'll lift and snatch the face. I don't know why I didn't try it sooner, but I feel like nobody really talks about it. And of course, putting the excess on the lid. And as you can see, there's a harsh line between that contour and the concealer, so I'm going back in with that bronzer brush and just really patting that out and blending and fusing those lines. For blush, we're gonna go in with this one from Patrick Ta. This is in the shade So LA. I'm gonna go in with the cream first. I want the skin to be super matte, but have that glow from within, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna do the reverse technique that Patrick does. He likes to put the powder first, then the cream on top, but I don't really want glossy cheeks today. Look at how pretty and bronzy it is. It blends in beautifully with the cream bronzer. Alrighty, for loose powder, we're gonna go in with this one from Makeup by Mario. It is a little bit messy. I would say this is a super skin-like formula, and I'm taking it on a powder puff and really pressing it underneath the eye. I also really like this formula because I feel like it can work with any skin type from any age as well. Blurs and sets so perfectly, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. And again, everything upwards. To set the skin, I'm gonna go in with this powder from Tower 28. I also have spoken about this a few times, and I don't want any extra coverage, but I do want the makeup to last all night. So I'm going in the areas where I have leftover foundation and just blending it all everywhere. For powder bronzer, we're gonna go in with this one from Fenty Beauty. This shade is super bronzy. I have it in the shade Islanding, and I'm just going over top of that cream bronzer and just making sure it's all set and then further bronzing, really snatching the face. And I also like to blend into my brow. That's why I like to do my brows last, because I feel like it just adds like a lift to them. And then any extra product that's actually in the brows will take off later. And of course, throwing some of that in the crease and the lower lash line. I love doing this step because it makes everything super cohesive. And now going back into the blush from Patrick Ta and adding that on the tops of the cheeks. And then I like to take the excess and put it on the apples of my cheeks, but I like to concentrate the pigment more toward the upper part of my face. I like to mix a little bit of the loose powder and the blush on a little brush and kind of blend in between this area. It makes your under eye and cheek blend a little bit more seamlessly versus just having like a harsh distinction. It's a little step, but it makes a huge difference. I'm gonna go back into that loose powder and carve out the cheekbones. This is really gonna make sure everything is super snatched. And I'm gonna put a little bit of that powder over top of the blush as well, and just let that sit for a little bit. For highlighter, I've been loving this one from ColourPop. It is so pretty. I'm just going to put some on the nose and the Cupid's bow. This is in the shade Flute Punch. I've never used this Merit Cream shadow, but I'm really excited to do so today. This is very popular. It's in the shade Vachetta. And I'm gonna just take a fluffy brush and go all over the lid and in the crease and make sure we get that super bronzy look. Oh yeah, this shade is so gorgeous. I started off with a light hand because I wasn't sure how, this was gonna turn out. Oh my god, this is so effortless. Of course, mimicking that on the lower lash line. If you're a beginner, this eyeshadow is super easy to use and it's gorgeous. And I also have this gorgeous eyeshadow from REM Beauty. This is a liquid shadow and this is in the shade UFO, and it's a beautiful bronzy color, but it has a little bit of shimmer. I'm thinking to add a little bit on the lid. Hold on, that is gorgeous. Oh my god. And I kind of just want it to be subtle and a twinkle, so I'm just spreading it out with that same brush. Yeah, that is stunning. I did my brows off camera, but I used this Ardell brow glue. I just don't think it's necessary to show on camera just because everybody's preferences are different. As for mascara, I used this one from Sweet Beauty. I tried this earlier today and I am obsessed. Look at how beautiful the lashes look. They give so much length and volume and they look so good. I'm going to set the face with the Makeup by Mario. I did unfortunately run out of my one size, but that's okay because we're not going to wear the makeup for that many hours, and the layering technique is good in itself. I'm going to let that dry and then do another round of powder. I'm going to go in with this Kosas liner. This is in the shade Depth, and I think I want to waterline it. I don't really do it that often, but I do think with like a super bronzy look that it brings it all together. And I also think I'm gonna go on this inner corner. I'm gonna go back in with this Tower 28 powder and go in the T-zone, and this double layering technique is definitely gonna help the makeup last. Okay, we fixed the lip combo. I went in with this Makeup by Mario lip pencil. This was full size. As you can tell, I really like it. It's in the shade Almond, and then for the center of the lip, I went in with this matte lip from Kylie Cosmetics in the shade Special Energy, and I just feel like the tones match way better. And here is the finished glam. I am obsessed with the tones of everything. I think it's gonna go perfectly with my outfit. If you guys follow these steps and these techniques, I promise you, your makeup is gonna look just as good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think.